Have you ever wondered what a website is really saying? The secrets it might be giving away without you even realizing it? Well, it turns out every single web server is constantly talking, leaving this trail of digital breadcrumbs. Today, we're going to be digital detectives. We're going to learn how to read those clues and understand the secret language of the web. So here's how our investigation is going to go down. First, we'll tap into the web's secret conversations. Then, we'll get our detective toolkit ready. After that, the fun part. We'll go hunting for digital clues, piece it all together, and then, most importantly, learn how to secure the scene. Let's get into it. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1. We're diving straight into that hidden chatter that's happening literally every time you visit a website. It's all going on right there, hiding in plain sight. I want you to really think about this for a second. If you run a website, or even if you just browse them, do you have any idea what kind of information it's just broadcasting out to the world? It's probably way more than you think. Okay, so this is where we put on our detective hats. Every single server, from the biggest company in the world to a tiny personal blog, leaves clues about how it works and how it's set up. And our job is to find these clues and figure out what they mean. Look, any good detective knows you can't solve a case without the right tools. So before we really start the hunt, we need to stock our toolkit with some absolutely essential concepts. So there's actually a fancy name for what we're doing. It's called Web Reconnaissance. It sounds kind of technical, but all it really means is gathering information. And believe me, it is the absolute first and most critical step in figuring out where a website's weak spots might be. Now, we need to get something really important straight. We're learning these skills to be the good guys, right? The ethical hackers, the ones who find these security flaws so they can be fixed. We're not here to exploit weaknesses. It really all comes down to two things: permission and intent. Okay, toolkit's ready, moral compass is pointing in the right direction. Now we get to the really fun part. Let's start hunting for some actual digital clues. So take a look at this. This little line of text. That is our first piece of evidence. It's called a server banner, and it's basically the server introducing itself at a party. It seems totally innocent, but it is telling us so much. Seriously, there is a ton of information packed right in there. We know it's an Apache server, we know the exact version, 2452, and we know it's running on Ubuntu. Now, why does that matter? Well, an attacker can literally just Google vulnerabilities for Apache 2452 and get an instant list of ways to try and break in. It's a huge head start. Finding that server banner is kind of like finding out the make and model of a building's alarm system. But what if the server just leaves the door unlocked for anyone to wander in and have a look around? And this is what that looks like. You see this simple page, index of /uploads? That is a massive clue. It's called a directory listing, and it means the server is literally just showing us a list of every single file sitting in that folder. And here's the thing you have to understand. This is never, ever supposed to be public. This can expose all sorts of things: sensitive documents, website backups, configuration files, stuff that was never meant for prying eyes. It basically gives an attacker a map of your website's private rooms. So, our first couple of clues were about what the server tells us when it's working perfectly. But funny enough, sometimes you can learn even more when things break. Oh, just look at this beautiful disaster. This is a verbose error message. Instead of just saying, oops, something's broken, the server is having a total meltdown and spilling all its secrets. It's telling us the exact file path, the file name, and even the line of code where things went wrong. The real danger here is all that detail. Giving away a full file path like /var/www/html/config.php tells an attacker not just that a critical configuration file exists, but exactly where to find it. It's like a burglar getting their hands on the building's original blueprints. All right, let's take a step back. We've got our three main clues: the server banner, the directory listings, and those super chatty error messages. Now it's time to put all the pieces together and see the big picture they're painting for us. This table really just sums it all up, doesn't it? The server banner gives an attacker a specific target to aim for. The directory listing gives them a map of the sensitive areas. And those verbose errors, they hand over the blueprints. You see, each clue is a problem on its own, but when you put them together, you get a very detailed recipe for an attack. Being a good detective isn't just about finding the problems, right? It's about solving them. So now that we know what clues to look for,
Let's talk about how to clean up the crime scene and make it secure.
And here are the 4 key moves. First, you get into your server settings and tell it to stop shouting its version number to the world. Second, you add one little line of code to turn off those directory listings. Third, you create custom error pages that are simple and don't give away any secrets. And finally, and this is a big one, you make it a habit. Keep checking your site to make sure no new clues have started leaking out.
So we'll end on this question. Your server is talking, constantly, broadcasting information to anyone who knows how to listen. The only question left is, are you paying attention to what it's saying? Because you can bet someone else out there is.